Evolution Power Tools have sent me an 8 amp hour 18 volt battery. It goes with their 18 volt cordless range, and they asked me if I would be interested in doing a direct comparison between this 8 amp hour battery and the smaller 4 amp hour battery. Now, I already had the 4 amp hour battery because I've reviewed a saw and a vacuum with this, and what I'm going to do is use the miter saw that they supplied, the 18 volt miter saw. I'm going to fit the 4 amp hour battery, and I'm going to cut 4x2 wood and just keep cutting the wood until the battery runs out. And then I'll swap the batteries over and do the same thing with the 8 amp hour battery, and we'll see the difference between the two. In order to carry out this experiment, I'm going to use the Evolution R185SMS-Li, the 18 volt sliding miter saw. Obviously, I've got the 8 amp hour battery, the 4 amp hour battery, and just to show you, I've charged these up so they're both fully charged. So as you can see, that battery is fully charged. That's the 8 amp hour, and I'll just show you the 4 amp hour battery. You can see that that's fully charged as well. I've actually fitted a physical stop onto the miter saw so that I'm not wasting too much wood when I carry out the experiment. And I've got my shop vac there just to keep the dust down in the workshop while I'm doing this. I've got my 4x2, so I'm going to start off with the 4 amp hour battery. Fit that onto the machine. So it's my intention to just keep sawing this wood until the battery runs out. And I am going to try and keep the camera running all the time, and I'll just speed the video up as we go through the experiment. So I'm going to start off now with the 4 amp hour battery. Right, so that is the 4 amp hour battery flat. It won't cut anymore. I'm absolutely gobsmacked at how many cuts I've got out of that 4 amp hour battery. But what I'm going to have to do is to narrow the cuts down a bit because I'm going to run out of wood at this pace. So I'm not going to count them now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put the 8 amp hour battery on, and then we'll go for another try and get a continuous running for the 8 amp hour battery. And then I'll count up at the end and we'll see how many each battery has produced. So this is the 8 amp hour battery. There we go. And I'm going to do exactly the same thing again. Hopefully the camera will be able to record the entire process. So as you can see, I've just cut through lengthways along a nail there. So I'm going to scrap this piece of wood. That's a little bit unfair, but there's nothing I can do about that. So I'm going to carry on with a different piece of wood. Now I've got to say that was absolutely no fun at all, but this machine is a pure joy to use. It's so comfortable and easy to use. I'm very impressed with that. Now I've got no idea how many cuts I made there. Right, so I'll just show you this. This is the cut that I was making with the 4 Ah battery, and I've reduced the thickness because I needed to conserve wood. And the reason that I've left the video recording constantly is so that if I can manage to speed it up enough to make the video watchable, you'll be able to see me make every single cut on each battery. But whether that's possible or not, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But what I'm going to do now is count how many cuts each battery has produced, and then I'll give you the results. Okay, so here are the results. Each one of these stacks is 10. This is the 4 Ah stack, and this is the 8 Ah stack. Now you might notice there's a difference in some of the sizes of the stacks. That's just because some of the cuts are a bit thinner than others. And this is a 4K camera, so you should be able to, if you don't believe me, pause and count how many there are in each stack. But starting with the 4 Ah battery, we've got 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110 cuts in 4x2. This last stack is 10. There were no more cuts. Now I think that is exceptional. I really do. 110 cuts in 4x2 on the 4 Ah battery. And we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So that's 190. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 198 cuts with the 8 Ah battery. That is really impressive as well. Remember that one of these has got a nail in it that it was cut across the lengthways. That will definitely have drained the battery a fair bit more than a normal cut. I'm very impressed with that. Very impressed. I'm absolutely gobsmacked that this did 110 cuts. If you just want to carry the one battery and you have a lot of work to do, you can't go wrong with the 8 Ah battery. And I deliberately chose 4x2 because I know a lot of people out there will be using a machine like this to cut 4x2 if you're working on a building site or something like that. So I think that's a reasonably good demonstration. This battery was run without the motor being used at all, so it was a cold machine. I think it had an advantage. How much of an advantage I can't really say because I'm not an expert on these things, but I do honestly think that this had an advantage starting with a cold machine. So it's horses for courses really. Which one you want to pick for your machine, what you're going to be doing with it, how much stuff you want to lug around, and how much you're prepared to pay. I do think that they are both very impressive batteries. So I hope you found this little experiment useful. I certainly am really shocked, I am. I never thought I would get that many cuts out of either of these two batteries. So both of them have really impressed me. I hope you found this useful. Thank you very much for watching, and please take care.